What's good, YouTube? This is TJK Creative. I am Tyler. This is the spoiler review for The Flash. This is a big movie. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. Make sure your subscribe button has been hit if you are not new. Just in case, hit that like button, get in the comments. I know you want to talk about it. I've seen this movie once, and it was the CinemaCon cut. I know I'm seeing it tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be the final cut, and then I'm seeing it on the 13th. Well, I'm pretty sure that's really going to be the final cut. And yeah, I've seen this movie 3 times before it's officially out, which is mind-blowing. And I could have seen it 4 or 5 times before it was out, but life. And that's crazy. First things first, I think that's crazy. There's been the most screenings I've ever seen for any movie ever for this movie. Like, I swear there's like 3 a week all across the United States. Like in every state, I swear there's at least 1 or 2 a week for like a whole month and a half to 2 months. It's just been nonstop. Come see it for free. Come see it early. I just don't understand. I can't even fathom the thought process, along with the insane amount of trailers and TV spots, and there's so many clips showing so many, even like the subtleties. Like this is the spoiler review again. The subtleties with Michael Keaton, like, just having a conversation with both the Barrys and telling them how he was a successful Batman in the most, and I like this too. This is really cool to have done with this Batman, that he's so successful that there's just no crime in Gotham. None. Batman is not needed at all anymore. Like he's done his Batman. Like he did his job to the fullest potential, and Gotham is safe. And now he's, just living life. I thought that was a really cool angle of Batman to do. And I just can't believe they put that in clips. That's crazy to me. They just released it to the public. Now, this movie is a Flashpoint movie. Barry, the movie starts off like Barry's trying to get food, and this movie really deals a lot with like his metabolism. They don't do it to the point where it like stops him from being a superhero, or like takes him out of the scene. Like, oh, I really haven't eaten, so now I can't run, type of situation. But they use it like in the first part of the movie. It starts off with him trying to get this meal from this like coffee shop, and Alfred calls him, and he needs to go help Batman, and he's like, why don't you call Superman? They show Superman on the screen like sealing a volcano that's erupting, and that's got to be Henry Cavill, but we only see his back, like him flying in the sky from the back. But that's got to be Henry Cavill, like, or his version of Superman. So that was cool to see. Didn't expect that, And he's like, what about Wonder Woman? And I don't remember what he said. He's like, I couldn't get a hold of her. Cyborg, some excuse, and then Aquaman, some excuse. So he's like, I'll need you. And then Barry has the same thing where he's like, why do I always have to clean up the Bat's mess? Like shit like that. It was cool banter. And just cool to, be in the world of the Justice League, just to be in the world of these superheroes. It's really nice. DC's popping when they popping. And Barry, this whole sequence takes place because this coffee guy, the guy that works at the coffee shop, is just talking nonstop, working super slow. This whole sequence with Batman, Wonder Woman, and the Flash is taking place in the time that it takes this guy to make this goddamn sandwich. And that's like a funny joke by the time he gets back, and he's like, and then he turns around, he's like, was that fast enough for you? It's like, no, motherfucker, you just saved the whole hospital, saved all these babies. Freaking Wonder Woman came through. Like, that was a lot of shit that just went down. But Barry's like running out of speed or something, or energy, and it was really cool. Like, he's saving these babies, and he's slowing down time because he's like, using his speed force powers. And he's looking at the babies, and it's moving in slow motion enough to where there's like a lot of motion, and then he sees food like coming out of the hospital, like there's an explosion of some sort, and he sees the food. It doesn't go towards the babies. He goes towards the food and he starts eating the food. And as he's eating the food, everything that's like, moving slow like this just stops. Because now he's like, his energy's all the way up. Like he's full of energy. I guess he's able to move faster and everything just stops, which was tight. I like that. That shit was fire. Man, the Flash is the most strongest OP character there is. So then he starts saving the babies, and they kind of kept this part of his, this super speed from Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder came up with the idea, or even maybe it's like realistic, but Zack Snyder still came up, like put it into the character that he can't really grab people and move them in certain ways with super speed. But he was doing more than I'm sure Zach would have did. He was still grabbing the babies and he was able to move them, but just a little bit. And he was putting them on this table or whatever to like laid out. And then he put one in a microwave. He put one in the microwave so he can grab the microwave and I guess move the microwave at super speed, but he can't physically grab like a human's body and move it. I understand it, but I don't fully understand it because they don't really explain enough of it. But I get it. I get the gist of it. And then I don't want to recap the whole movie, so I'm not going to recap the whole movie, but I'm just, it's the beginning of the movie. I'm trying to get into why he's going back in time. And then he saves the day, goes back, gets a sandwich. And then, he's dealing with his father's case. There's this recording. He can't see his dad's face on the recording, and that's his alibi. So, he gets denied or whatever. Yada, yada, yada. He has this conversation with Iris West, and she gives him the idea of or somehow he gets the idea of going back in time from that conversation. I've only seen the one time. Freak. I'll see it tomorrow, but the review embargo drops today, so it's like, freak, I got to get this review out today. But Ben Affleck, Batman, and Flash have a conversation. He's like, so you think you're fast enough to go back in time? And he's like, but you'll destroy everything. He's like, but I could fix things. I could save my parents. I could save yours. Or you could destroy everything. And he kind of, Batman can't force him not to do it, but he tells him, he doesn't give him his blessings. He's like, these scars we have, this is what defines us and made us who we are. We're not supposed to go back and fix them. So I like that. I like that aspect of that Batman, and Ben Affleck played a great Batman. Like it really felt like Batman. He did it's sad to see him go after this. Like he did a really solid, a really good Batman in this movie, and man, it's whatever. This life is pushing, and he gets the idea. He's like, I can just he gets that idea from Iris, where that's what it was. He gets the idea from Iris that he can do it safely if he just doesn't step on the butterflies or the grass blades. If he just does it this certain way, that everything will be fine. So then he does. He leaves Iris in his apartment, and he starts running into the Speed Force. And I it's interesting. Speed Force visuals, because he's kind of running in place, like on a cosmic treadmill, if you will. He's like running in place in this little bubble, and it's like a Coliseum effect. He sees times going by him. He sees like all of the life of events. He sees the babies, and goes back in time, and the CG was really rough in there in this part 2 on the CinemaCon cut, and it's just a cool effect. I don't know. There's just a cool Coliseum, Speed Force, or like orange reddish bubble, like he's in space. It was interesting. It could look weird, I guess, because he's kind of just running and there's no floor. Like I don't know. It could look weird to some people, and maybe it looks better too with the finished cut. We'll see. And he saves his mom. He goes back in time and puts the tomatoes into her shopping cart, so his dad doesn't have to leave. When his dad left is when his mom died. So he's like, maybe if he doesn't have to leave, They don't have to go back to this. If she already has the tomatoes, none of this will ever happen. And as he's trying to run back to the future, to the present day, this dark dark flash pushes him out of the Speed Force, and that's in the trailer where you see him rolling onto the street. And then he thinks he's in present day, and he sees his mom. Everything's good. And as they're having a breakfast, he sees the other Barry coming. Yeah, I really am recapping. I'm gonna stop recapping in a second. He sees the other Barry coming, and he Speed Forces over there, and he figures out that he's in 2013, and that not only is that a younger Barry, which is interesting. Not only is this a younger Barry, it's a different Barry, even though it's the same. It's him from the past, but it's a different past because he lived his life with his mom, so he's not the same Barry. It's a different Barry. It's a different version of him, and obviously it's a different universe because Michael Keaton's Batman, and in the way they explain time travel in this movie, he's like, you've probably seen a movie where they time traveled. Well, it's wrong. And the way they explain it is like spaghetti. I don't remember exactly the way they explained it, but he's like, I don't remember the way he explained it, but basically the way I took it, it was after he went back in time and changed something, he'll never be able to go back to it, or is the original timeline or original universe. That's how I kind of took it. Like, once he did something, it's done. Like, no matter what you do now, if you go back and try to, that's how I'm taking it. Like, it's gonna, no matter what happens in the future, when you come back, it's still gonna be different. And that's what happens essentially. And it's just cool seeing Zod come back. I'm done recapping. It's cool to see Zod come back. I don't remember if I said that in my spoiler-free review. I do wish Zod and Feora had some lines, or even the same lines. Freak it. But I wish they had some really dope lines, like when Feora was like, "For every human you save, we will kill 1,000,000 more." Like, I wish there was some lines like that from Feora, just to be savage and shit. I wish there was some lines from Zod, like, "These humans you've adopted, we will take them all one at a time." Like, all that shit. Man, there was some fire dialogue in Man of Steel, and I wish there was some cool Supergirl and Zod fight was all right. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't on the level of Man of Steel. It just wasn't, and I wish there was a little bit better action with the Kryptonians, but it was still good. It was still good. It was still hype. It was great. And the fight scenes with Batman, Michael Keaton, when he's saving Supergirl, the way he was moving and using his grapple and punching and kicking and dodge, he was moving with speed. Like, he was like he was going in, doing kicks and shit. He was great. He even disappeared at one point when they went to go save Supergirl. Like, he was doing some Batman shit. Like, he disappeared, and the Flashes didn't even know what was going on. And he was, and I skipped over. Like, there's a whole Flash loses his powers, which was I like seeing that because I was the Flashpoint. So he tries to ensure, he's like, today's the day I get my powers, and he takes the younger Barry to where he was, and the younger Barry doesn't want to say. He's like, wait, I gotta get hit by lightning? He's like, you didn't say I gotta get hit by lightning. He's like, you have to. He's trying to make him sit in the chair, and then the lightning strikes, and it strikes through present day Barry. And I don't know why it would make him lose his powers, but it just does. But the younger Barry gets it. So, yada, yada, yada. They have to, recreate the events so present day Barry can get his powers back, because he damn sure don't believe in the younger Barry to stop Zod and, save the day, and then get him back to his time. And then Supergirl kind of flies away because she's pissed at humans because they locked her up all these years. But then she eventually comes back because she, they saved her, and she's like, how come when you didn't see that it was Cal, you still saved me? He's like, because you needed help. Then she says, you know what this symbol stands for? It stands for hope. And, it was cool to see how she came back and she respected them, and that she was a hero, even through all the torture and bullshit she went through all of her life through those Russians, that she still wanted to save humanity and humans and not team up with Zod. I like that. She really stood for hope. She was a great Supergirl. She was a little monotone, I will say, but I feel like they did that because she was trapped all these years, not talking to nobody. So, and standoffish. That's what I'm going to assume. And if it is that, then good. If it's not that, then but I'm assuming it's that. And if it is that, then I like the way she played it, and I think she did good. That that being said, and yeah, bro, this is 15 minutes. Oh, sorry, y'all. I'm rambling. I love the Flash, bro. I got the chair right here. All in all, this is a dope movie. I haven't seen the final cut, but there is a new Batman at the end of the movie. And shout out to all the cameos. I'll say that in a second. There is a new Batman at the end of the movie. Could be George Clooney. I heard it, sounded like low-key sounded like him on the phone when Batman called Barry. But oh yeah. All right, I'll go say that in a second. But there is a new Batman. There's changes too. Like still not, like I said, even though he fixed things, it's still not the same. He even changed where he put the tomato cans on the top shelf. So when his dad did go to the store, he looks up so the cameras could see his face. And let me touch on the villain. Dark Flash, I don't consider him a villain because Dark Flash is the younger Barry that we spend time with in the movie. He's the alternate universe younger Barry, but he's the future version of him. And in the third act, the battle, Batman dies, Supergirl dies, so they go back in time to try to save them. And present day Barry realizes this is a fixed point in time, like something like Batman was telling him earlier in the movie. And since that's a fixed point in time, they're just always going to die no matter what they do going back in time. So he's trying to tell younger Barry, like, I just have to go back and fix this. And he's like, no, nobody dies. And that's where Dark Flash comes from. It's a paradox of some sort. That's what he calls it. That he's just trying to save everybody because I'm assuming Zod will win because he kills Supergirl and they're just not going to stop him. So I'm assuming Zod wins, takes over the world, terraforms the Earth, so the world is cooked. And Supergirl dies, Batman dies. They're now his friends, and he's trying to save his friends and the world. And basically, Dark Flash is just a really old version of the past alternate universe Barry. He has gray hair and he looks old under the like weird fucked up suit. They got like melted and gooped up, and that's him. You can't consider him a villain? It's not a bad thing that he was trying to save his universe and world. It just with what he was doing, causes the multiverse, like all these worlds, to collide. And as the worlds are colliding, that's when we see all these cameos. The Christopher Reeve era Supergirl, Adam West Batman, Nicolas Cage fighting this. Nicolas Cage had the longest cameo sequence. So he was fighting this spider, and as the camera turns around on him, it's Nicolas Cage. The crowd erupted. That was the loudest, most wild, craziest cheer in this screening I went to. We'll see what's up with I'll make a quick little video, just speaking about the final cut, because I know there'll be post credits and all that. So I'll make something for that. But yeah, that was the biggest cheer in the movie. And yeah, I just love this movie. It was great. Grade wise though, man, I gave it a B plus. I'm gonna still give it a B plus. I've only seen it the one time. It could change. Because this movie has gone through a lot of production hell throughout. It's been like 9-10 years that this movie's been in the works. Different like studio heads like have owned Warner Brothers throughout this time. Directors and writers, all the drama with Ezra Miller, James Gunn coming in, having to switch things up just to help and get us into his universe. There's a lot of stuff going on, so I think a B plus is Because it could have easily been an A movie. Could have easily. Right now, I'm gonna stick to a B plus. We'll see what happens after I see it again. And yeah, I mean, I talked about everything really. There's no villain. Zod, I mean, you can't count Zod as a villain. He's just in that time period. It's 2013. It was Man of Steel situations. So it's like, I like what they did with the suit. The reason he gets the red lightning is only when he's wearing the suit, that suit that he has. It channels his energy better. So I guess that means it makes the lightning red. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, oh yeah, it was really cool to see a lot of Flash's powers phasing, uh, the lightning energy shocks, the lightning tornado. There's just a lot of stuff, especially that we've seen on the CW. It's just a lot of cool stuff. So I really enjoyed seeing that. All the different sub powers that come with the Speed Force. That was awesome. And yeah, I'm gonna just end it here. That was a spoiler review. We talked spoilers. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I am just a guy with a camera and a mic. Go see The Flash. Pay for it. Stop watching these trailers and clips. I'm a still go pay for it. Even though I'm seeing it so many times for free, I'm gonna still go pay for it. And even if I don't go see it, I'm gonna just pay for a ticket anyways. But I'm gonna go see it anyways in IMAX, because all these screenings I've been going to have been standard, or all the screenings I'm having access to or has been and will be standard. But yes, just a guy with a camera and a mic, and I'm out. Hit that subscribe button.